All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to YouTube land again, where we are on the Dragon's Lair. Well, actually, DGen and Greenstream and Dragon's Lair combined. I have two wonderful co-hosts that I love hanging out with that are in here today. We have TGF1 Mike from the Dragon's Lair on Wednesdays, and we have the only one green, beautiful orc, Orcosaurus. Now, how are you both doing?
Pretty good.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I know it's really
both wait for the other to speak, and then we speak at the same time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's a mind meld.
and see, we do have boobas here, Safika. We've got the orc. He showed his booba. Well, one of them. The other part's covered in metal. So I mean,
yeah, the other part was cinched off by elves during the Milk Wars. It was ugly.
Yeah. So I mean, not much you can do there. And so yeah, I'll be also drinking my health shake too. Which, if you're ever curious, it's beet extract, triple berry, and just a little bit of milk, and it's low calorie, and you know, you get a lot of nutrients in there, and it's good for you. So I had to do that today just because I'm trying to go back to losing weight. My goal, hopefully, at some point, be lose about 150 pounds, and maybe I'll do some exercise streams or something as a gimmick sometime down the road if I can actually get back on my total gym, because I'm still over capacity. So, but you know, it's been a day. I'll be seeing Deadpool, I believe, tomorrow for Wednesday's review, so that should be good. So you probably hear about that off and on, because I know we'll be talking about the review on Wednesday. And then Orky will not be here next Saturday, so when he gets back, we'll probably talk a little bit about it, since he will finally get to see it. I mean, believe it or not, the orc is actually going to take a break from fighting elves and go out and touch grass.
Yeah, imagine that. Sometimes I have to do that.
I mean, it's a shocker. Either that or reading a very interesting novels on this channel, which, if you have not checked out the Orc Sources channel, you should, but just be warned, there's a lot of interesting stuff on there.
I'm reading a visual novel with a bear who gives me Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was watching it when I was like, yeah, this is creepy, but hey, why not? And then TFG1 Mike hopefully will be watching Deadpool soon. Yep. That way I can talk with him on it like we did the Axel Foley review. So that is a thing that we're going to try to do. And man,
apparently the Deadpool movie already made like $100 million in its opening night, I think. Did the opening night on Friday?
Now they're saying that it's going to bring back the Marvel Universe. No,
it won't. No,
it won't. No. Because here's the problem with the Marvel thing.
Why don't you go ahead?
The problem with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as I've said many times before, they called their finale movie in 2019 Endgame. That usually signifies the end. And then, right before COVID and everything else happened in 2020, they went to San Diego Comic-Con, which is just in the middle of Saturday. Actually, we're recording this in the middle of San Diego Comic-Con right now. Back in 2019 or whenever it was, they, in the middle of Comic-Con, or maybe they did Comic-Con at home the next year, they announced phases 5 and 6 and gave us all this roadmap of everything they're supposed to be doing. And nothing's happened yet, because they've tried to do all these TV shows and everything else. And everyone assumes that Deadpool and Wolverine, while it's, I'm sure, amazing, because I obviously haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to make judgments on it, but like they're assuming that it's going to do all this stuff to... No, it's just that Kevin Feige and the Marvel team haven't had time to do anything else, because they've been stuck with these TV shows that, frankly, most of them, 90% of them, suck. So, well, it is what it is.
To be fair on that, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has sucked for a while. And you have to watch TV shows and you have to watch this to try to understand the damn movies, which, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Loki, you may not understand some of the stuff that goes on in Deadpool and Wolverine, which is part of the reason I don't like how they're doing this.
Mm.
But you should be able to watch it still without knowing it. Just understand there's going to be some characters that you're not going to quite understand. But the thing with it is you can't really save Marvel. I mean, the reason why Deadpool is so popular is it, first of all, brings Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, which that's the only Wolverine anybody's ever known, and he is the Wolverine. And he's never really got... He's had some decent movies, but he's never really got to go rated R Wolverine. He's always been very PG because how Fox wrote the scripts, how Fox did that. Wolverine's origin was a dumpster fire. And then Logan was actually the first one that was rated R because it was actually much, much darker. But at the same time, he's never really got the best scripts, in my opinion. That's true.
I'm gonna hook in real quick here and say that Logan was a fucking banger and probably the best out of all the movies that had Wolverine in it. And just saying that. And going into Wolverine and Deadpool now, I think what I've read and heard, and I think this is probably a good assessment, is that Wolverine and Deadpool is much more a Fox Marvel movie than an actual Disney Marvel movie. And I think it's kind of putting the closure lid also on all these Fox movies. So it's a last chapter, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's their way of trying to end everything because of the Marvel transition with Marvel acquiring Fox.
You mean Disney acquiring Fox?
I mean Disney, yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. And the sad thing is, like, I mean, the dude basically, it's not sad, but like he had 2 films before X-Men in 2000. That was 24 years ago. So he's been acting for 24 years in film. I don't know. I've not scrolled all down to his other stuff, but in film, he's put out a lot of stuff in 24 years. Like, you know, say what you will about the various X films. X1 and X2 were cool as hell and great. And I mean,
X2 could have been way better, but that's not really his fault. That was the script because of bringing in the Phoenix and all that crap. If they had left the Phoenix part out and they changed a little bit more on that, I think it would have been way better. But the way they did it was pretty crappy.
Yeah. So I'm on his filmography, and you know, he's got some stuff, he's got some other stuff. Swordfish wasn't bad. You know, I mean, he's a good actor. It's just that most of his career has been Wolverine,
and he has to bulk up every time he does that because I was reading an interview to go back to Wolverine. He has to eat and work out a lot.
Yeah.
Just to fit that role.
Yeah, Wolverine is not it's a very demanding role because it's very action oriented and everything else. And
because he was talking about how much food he had to eat, plus all the weightlifting he has to do and nonstop just to get those biceps again and just to be able to portray that role, which, you know, isn't easy to do. I mean, we talk about we struggle to try to lose weight and stuff. Granted, you know, when you're a millionaire because of acting, you have all these health trainers, you have all this stuff, and not only part of getting the role is also getting the body into the role. So you're spending a lot of time working out daily and eating all this stuff, but you know, it's not normal. Like, if we were in here talking about wanting to lose weight, like me lose 100 pounds stuff, I'm not going to be able to lose 100 pounds as fast as Hugh Jackman does, or bulk up as fast as he does, because of the time, which part of acting is to dedicate to shaping the body to fill the needs of a movie. So I was reading up a lot of that stuff that Hollywood has advantage to that we don't, and it's surprising on that. But yeah, with Disney acquiring Fox, this is supposedly, allegedly, a send off to get rid of all the Fox characters along the way, but we'll see. I mean, I hate saying it, but the Fox characters, a lot of them are probably more popular than a lot of the Marvel currently, and they did push off because of how bad they're performing. They pushed off Captain America, The Brave New World. They originally were going to have it before Deadpool. They pushed that back. Daredevil, the reboot of Daredevil, which I'm really, really not looking forward to that, because I think Netflix did it way better. They pushed that back because the script wasn't going as well as planned. There's a lot of things that they're trying to do. And now you got the Russo brothers coming back. They're begging them to come back, the ones that did the Endgame, which basically because they're desperately trying to win the audience back, because they can't just admit their faults and say, look, we've had lousy writing, we're all over the place, we need to regroup. They're just trying to shit out as many movies as they can and hope that something sticks. I think this is going to be a one-hit wonder. I think that's really what it is, because it's Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool and Wolverine, which is something they've wanted for freaking decades, because those two go hand in hand, especially in the comic book. If you really go back into it, Deadpool and Wolverine were a big thing together.
Yep.
Yeah, I do think that in the end, and here's another thing. I think that Deadpool, and this is something I think not many people acknowledge. I think you two are with me on that one, though. In the Marvel movies, when we talk about Disney Marvel, have been always somewhat formulaic because of the production schedule that they have, pumping out multiple movies a year. It has to be a well-oiled machine, and you can't very much deviate from established shit. And I think this formula got already stale at the end of Phase 2.
Yeah.
Phase 3 had a little bit of a shakeup, and you had more fun outliers out there, like Guardians of the Galaxy, that were still in the Marvel mold, but you at least could see some personal touches by James Gunn, who, love him or hate him, he at least has a vision as a director, and he can do shit with the properties that he gets. He has talent. I would say he's talented, right? If you like him or not, at least he has something to say, And normally, I think it's also to save on cost a little bit. I don't even think they should bring back the Russos. I mean, they made the Civil War one, and no, not Civil War.
Avengers,
Infinity War and
Endgame.
Yeah, exactly. The Avengers movies, not all of them, but the important ones. And then they made the Captain America 2. That was the one I was looking for.
The problem with it, go ahead, Orc. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Yeah, just let me. I don't think they are that talented of directors. I think what they did outside of Marvel was super bland. They can probably work very well within the core set Marvel gave them, but I haven't seen anything that wowed me. And this is something that a lot of Marvel movies have the issue with, because Marvel likes to take very untested directors, directors that basically only worked on smaller movies, and directors that don't have really a flair And you notice that. Like, there's no personal touch whatsoever. And that gets stale. And if you think about what comes next, like, I think the next movie scheduled, we already touched on that, is Captain America Brave the New World.
Yeah.
After Deadpool, that guy made just some dramas for or some very, very unknown movies. Oh shit, he made the Cloverfield Paradox. Holy fuck, this is gonna be great.
Yeah,
one of the worst Netflix movies ever. And they hired him to direct the new Captain America. Okay, I'm not gonna harp on that too long. But if you just juxtapose Deadpool and Wolverine and Captain America, the new one, real quick, like the new Captain America set out with a budget of 250 million, I think. Deadpool had only 200 million, and due to the entire reshoots and whatever happened, the budget for Captain America ballooned to like 340 million, and this isn't even with marketing. Like, how is this supposed to even make money at this fucking point?
That's no worse than Acolyte, $180 million per freaking episode. Oh, by the way, Godzilla -1 costs less to do and was much, much better quality. Come on now. It's like, but you're right on that. They do hire unnamed people to do this stuff that have no credentials, such as the new Rey Skywalker Star Wars they're doing that they keep talking about. They hired some director that's just done a documentary that has really no movie history under her belt other than mostly documentaries. So it's like, why are you not looking at, it's like Disney has no vision and they just throw stuff at walls and see what sticks. And yes, and then they find out, oh, well, we got to change this because we're finding out people aren't enjoying this show or whatever. So we're going to change it here. I mean, originally the next big bad that looked like was going to be King. But of course, as we know, the actor of King is going through some legal trouble. So Disney let him go. So now they got to re-screen for a King. And so who knows if that's going to be the next big threat. For King the Conqueror for the Avengers. But the problem is, you don't have Avengers anymore. Avengers is gone. You got rid of almost every single Avenger there is out there, replacing them. So right now, you have no Avengers. So what are you going to do? Beg Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans to come back, pull an ass, some type of thought out of your ass and say, okay, well, we're going to use the multiverse and we're going to go back in time and all this to bring back a Captain America, and we're going to bring back Robert Downey Jr. and we're going to try to save it. I don't think so.
Yeah, so nothing means anything anymore. If they want to go back and do that shit, be my guest, but then it's like nothing means anymore in that universe. If you can't just supplant just anyone or just get people back from the dead, then who cares, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, an important character died. Why should I attach myself emotionally to anyone in this? And they should basically stick, at least if you do the multiverse shit, at least you stick to your guns and like recast these roles with interesting actors. Like who's the guy who plays Homelander in The Boys? He could be a great Captain America.
You know, when I first saw him, you're right. When I first saw him, I was like, this dude, look, I was like, is this some Captain America wannabe when I first saw him? Because I never really watched The Boys. I just started and I'm like, okay, this, now I started again. I was like, he wouldn't be a bad Captain America. You're absolutely right. I mean, he fits the body and the looks of Captain America. And I'm like, that would not be a bad idea. But it's like, so, they are following somewhat half-assed the comics because Falcon did become Captain America for a while. But I don't remember the whole background. I don't know if he just. I believe what happened is he ends up giving the shield back to Captain America because it was like during the Civil War, some crap where Captain America got shot, and they thought he was dead or some crap for the longest time, and then he comes back, and I think Falcon gives him a shield. And there's another comic where Bucky becomes the new Captain America because he still has the superhuman strength himself to basically use and wield the shield and everything. So Bucky ends up the new Captain America at that point. And so I don't know what's going to happen on that. I mean, so they have the option of King. And then I've heard one thing, which this is the stupidest rumor. And if it is really true,
it is a rumor. I know exactly what you're going to bring up, and I want to make sure that everyone understands.
It's a rumor. Yes, we've been seeing it all over the internet, and it's a rumor, and I cannot. There's no confirmation, but they're talking about bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as Tony Stark from another multiverse, and he ends up becoming Doctor Doom, which is not even how any of that happens in the comics or anything, and it's just a rumor. So I think it is just one of those, hey, it's full of shit things. But I mean, Doctor Doom would be another good threat. But the problem with that is that's more of a Fantastic Four area. So I don't know what they have. I mean, King was one that Avengers came together on. Ultron was one they came together on. Thanos, but Thanos was pretty much, in my opinion, the last real big Avenger thing. So it's like you used your best card early enough without establishing a thing. And yes, there was a lot of Avengers, but you had Storm as an Avenger, you had Spider-Man, you had Wolverine as an Avenger. There's quite a few that they could have had in the Avengers, but that ship sailed at this point. I mean, they.
Hey,
go ahead.
I wouldn't entirely say. Okay.
No, go ahead, Orc. Sorry.
Okay. I wouldn't entirely say the ship has sailed. I think you can still fix the Avengers, but I think what you need to do is you need an act. I'm sorry, Falcon is not Captain America to me for various reasons. You need an actual Captain America, and you need an actual Tony Stark. Like, you need kind of like these two characters. How they get them out of the multiverse, I don't know, but I feel like this is something they have to do to fix it. And I do not think that Captain Marvel is a good, and they want to do this. Like, you can't convince me otherwise. Captain Marvel is not a good fit to lead the Avengers. Nobody likes that character, actually. And I swear to God, if Marvel wasn't at the mega hype it was at that point when the first Captain Marvel released, it would have done much worse.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked at the Marvel team, what they currently have in the comics. They used to have Ant-Man, Hulk, Moon Knight, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Invisible Woman as the ones that were in the former Avengers. Their current cast they have Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Ghost Rider, Blade, Black Widow, and Doctor Strange. So, I mean, you have a lineup here. Oh, and there's more. Let's see. The Thing, Human Torch, Dr. Druid, Jack of Hearts, Machine Man, Mockingbird, Moon Dragon, K-Star, Silver Surfer, Rage, Sandman, Swordsman, Thunderstrike, Ares, Sentry, the Wasp, Spider-Woman, Morbius, the Living Vampire, Wonder Man, U.S. Agent, Nova. That's the former cast that they've had. So, and I just listed the current members. Well, Captain America's gone, technically. The original one. Falcon, maybe I'll take the role. Iron Man, you wrote him off, so Tony Stark's gone. Thor is still around, but Chris Hemsworth wants a good script if he's going to come back. He's done with it. She-Hulk, well, that was a disaster of a TV show. I mean, that was really, really bad. Captain Marvel, as Orcosaurus said, not very popular. Just the way they portrayed Carol Danvers was really, really bad. I mean, it was really bad writing there.
They missed out on a perfect opportunity with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
They could have, if they were smart and they were writing good stories, they could have found a way to bring Rogue in.
Yeah. Well, and Chad Bodwick's gone.
They don't have good writers.
So
They don't have good writers.
I know they don't work.
and with Chad Bodwick gone, they didn't want to recast Black Panther. That's another current one, so that one's gone. Ghost Rider. They haven't done anything on that since Nicolas Cage. I don't know if they really could do anything. Blade. I heard that production movies went to hell.
I think Ghost Rider was in one of the TV series. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Barely, but yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like there is no really. I think there's no real established character around at this point in time. They could rely on the Guardians of the Galaxy, but that shit's out of the window because everyone in the cast said we're basically not coming back if James Gunn is not doing it.
Yeah,
as far as I know.
Yeah, that's true.
James is too busy right now trying to write the DC ship. So.
Yeah, he's trying to build everything there. And so Blade, I think they're on their third director now. They just can't get it right with whatever they're doing. Blade, somebody just needs to call Wesley Snipes and bring him back.
I don't understand what's happening with this Blade movie. This is so easy. You just have to put Blade in a fucking movie where he kills vampires. What is hard about that?
I don't know, but you're not going to be able to beat Wesley Snipes as Blade. He is established as Blade for good. Yeah. I mean, he played Blade fantastic. I loved 1 and 2. Yeah. Third one, not so much. I kind of like,
it was okay.
You know what would be an inspired casting choice for Blade?
Who?
I mean, he's also already a little bit older, but they cast someone in the same age. Like, just ring up Michael J. White. That guy can fight, and he's not busy.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go with freaking, I don't know, Wesley Snipes, but like,
I think Wesley's in his 60s now too.
I don't think he can do that. Like, he's a good actor, but like, he's not a Blade.
Yeah. And you screwed Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow. She's still in the current cast that they have, and Doctor Strange. So pretty much, I mean, and we're just going by what DC Comics has currently listed as their Avengers. Most of the names that they have there, you have no profiles anymore. You don't have any good actors to draw. So what are you gonna do? And I mean, yeah, they could pull some out of their ass and say, "Oh, we're gonna bring back Wanda. We're gonna bring back this." But the problem is they've just thrown so much into walls and just said, "We're gonna ass pull this. We're gonna ass pull this. We're gonna do weird plot armor here." You've convoluted your whole universe at this point, and. If you wanted to introduce a character, let's just say you wanted to introduce a character and have him shine, should have been some during where Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man 2 or 3, he brought in somebody else and they worked together and you helped develop that character, and then maybe people would like say, hey, this is a really cool character. Let's build on that. Kind of like how they brought in Black Panther during Captain America Civil War. That was a great way to bring him in.
Yep.
That's what they should have done all this time. And Rampress says they should use Michael B. Jordan as Blade. He's young and a good actor. Yes. I couldn't think of his name, but yeah, that he is a very talented actor. That'd be perfect Blade.
That's an actual good choice.
He's very good, young actor, could do it for 20, 30 years for Blade, because that's the problem too with Marvel. If you're wanting to keep characters around, you're going to be keeping them most of their lifetime acting. I mean,
the other thing though is, wasn't like Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther as a bad guy? I think
Yeah,
he
he
was.
was Killmonger.
Yeah, he was Eric Killmonger. Yeah, but like, who cares? Just cast him. It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, why?
Well,
Who does the casting in this fucking place? Seriously,
I don't know. I think Disney just throws whatever they can, and just I really do. I feel like they just have like a list of names and they just throw darts at the names, say, "Oh, it landed on this guy. We're hiring him." It's like
we definitely need this Oscar-winning dude to make our action movie about a dude killing fucking vampires. That's gonna draw.
And that's the other thing. That's the problem. Another problem with Hollywood today is that there are no major unknowns that become super famous. You look at Christopher Reeve. You look at, okay, Michael Keaton had a little bit of fame because of Mr. Mom and other things, but you look at Michael Keaton. You look at Tom Cruise. You look at anybody else that kind of debuted in the late 70s, early 80s, and they've had careers that Tom Cruise, perfect example, Mission Impossible 8's coming up at some point, and whatever. But like, I can't think of I don't even know a single actor today that I've seen like
that
even
keeps a legacy. Keeps a legacy.
They don't keep legacies anymore because the way Hollywood is now is it's not about making a legacy for these people with these jobs. It's about hit it and quit it. That's what it's about. You get one role. Hey, look, if Michael B. Jordan ends up becoming something else other than Killmonger, sure, fine, great. Look what Chris Evans did. Chris Evans was Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
And then he's Captain America. That's fine. Whatever. Yeah. The problem, I think, is that with Tony Stark, Iron Man specifically, Robert Downey Jr. filled that role so goddamn well that you have to do some sort of multiverse of madness bullshit to have it be like, to have the role be replaced by somebody else, have it be a younger version of Tony so you can get a younger actor, because there's nobody in Hollywood right now, there's nobody on this planet that could play Tony Stark as well as Downey Jr. plays Tony Stark.
Well, it's the same with Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones or a lot of the casting he's done. Harrison Ford is a tremendous actor. You cannot replace him as Indiana Jones somewhere else. I mean, no, there's just no way. That's the same stigma that goes on with like the Iron Man role. You can't really replace Robert Downey Jr.
No, and this is why Hollywood needs to come up with, and I know they're not going to, but this is why they need to come up with new ideas, new things, create a new create something freaking new, because you can't rely, like, look, I'll be, by the time, supposedly, by the time Avengers Secret Wars comes out, I'll be 47 damn years old. Mm-hmm. There ain't probably no way in hell I'm gonna, even if it is the best Avengers movie ever, which we don't know what the hell it's gonna be. All as we know is it's gonna be Secret War, which, if you ever watched the series finale of Spider-Man the Animated Series, they did it in that show in the 90s, which is fine, but like, I just don't know what Disney is gonna do with this stuff, because they just don't. It's a whole double-edged sword. You either need the legacy or you need to create a new one.
I'm going to cover a couple comments here, too.
Yep.
Ramcross says, I think Michael B. Jordan would be amazing Blade. He has that cockiness that Wesley had on screen. Yes, I agree. He's a very talented actor. I think he would be a perfect Blade, especially if they're, trying to have somebody for longevity. In the same way with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. You are absolutely correct. Hugh Jackman is the Wolverine. He's been the Wolverine for 30-some plus years. There is no way in hell it's going to be an easy role to fill to have a new Wolverine. It's the same thing. It's the same dilemma they had with, even if Disney wanted to keep the legacy of the original Lucas Envision and the extended universe and everything, Mark Hamill was getting up there in age. Carrie Fisher was getting up there. Harrison Ford was getting up there in age. You would have had to have a whole new cast for Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han if you really wanted to.
They messed that up so bad too.
Yeah, they messed it up, but the casting call, you would have had to recast them all if you were going to do another trilogy, or you were planning on doing multiple trilogies to build on the universe. You would, if you wanted to maintain those characters, you would have to basically try to somehow find almost perfect actor replacements that you wouldn't notice the subtly difference, because Peter Dinklage, get out of here, Ram. Get Herman for some at you.
Ram.
No, that's the biggest. Go ahead, Ort.
I still think that Scott Adkins would be a wonderful Wolverine, but he's also getting like up there in age. Would have been a wonderful Wolverine, but we can't have everything.
Because you got to figure every movie, depending on how much they film and how they do it, takes at least 2 years, sometimes 3 years. So you're going to have this gap, unless you do something like James Cameron, where you film all like 2 or 3 movies back to back, which I guess the new Avatar's coming out next year, but whatever. I think that whatever. But yeah, I didn't like the second one. So anyway, but the thing with it, you have to plan it all out, and you kind of have to have a pathway. And it's not writing off characters. It's more plan. Okay, we have this amount of years, because also this actor is going to want to do other roles, not be stuck with just being Wolverine or something. And that's going to be hard. The Red Press says, what do you think about them CGI and the actors and then getting the rights to their voice? I think it's wrong. I think it's absolutely wrong. Unless you are going to pay royalties to that family for the next 100 years or whatever, I think it's wrong.
Yep. Yeah, it's wrong.
I mean, just like James Earl Jones. If he tomorrow, because I know that he gave him permission to keep using his voice for Vader, but the thing about it, the family should continue to get paid. Every time they use his voice, they should be continuing to get paid and get a check in the mail for using his voice, because you're still using that individual. So it should be done that way.
Yeah, it should be.
There's also another point I would bring up at that. As much as we talk about like actors doing like an amazing job, like Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man and Tony Stark, if you use CGI, their likeness and everything, you basically just give the studio a license in perpetuity to use them to portray the role, and you take the chance away of younger actors and actresses to just prove themselves that they can do just as a good job.
I agree.
Because it's not out of the question. I do think there is another Tony Stark out there that is probably amazing. We just don't have an idea who it is.
Yeah.
And you immediately close the role off for everyone.
That's why I said
that.
Yeah. That's why I said they need to reboot with going with a younger
and not necessarily
Tony.
Reboot. When we say reboots, it's like restarting everything. What they need to do is probably go to a multiverse, because if they really want to bring Iron back, go to multiverse and it's a new actor, and or maybe they do Iron Man in universe, whatever, some crap, to try to develop the character there. And then suddenly there's a reason he has to go into this other timeline or something. They have to do something to make it flow. Of course, because they've damaged their whole plot line and scripts and everything as much as they had by killing off characters, that makes it work. What they should have done instead of killing off Iron Man is had him injured in a coma, and or if they knew Robert Downey Jr. was not going to do it anymore, they could have had something that the gauntlet goes wrong or something, and he's injured, everything or whatever, and they have to cover him up, and they just say, well, he's in a coma and they had him in bandages or something, and we don't know when he's going to wake up. And then, of course, eventually when they find a replacement, they could just have this new actor wake up and hope like hell that they can continue the legacy that way. But, and they could have explained the gauntlet or something did something to his body that made him this way. There could have been something.
I blame my mother and I blame my grandmother for what I'm about to say, but both on Wednesday and now you've said that exact same thing. And my first thought is going back to every single soap opera my mother and grandmother ever made me watch. This role is now being played by this person.
Yeah. That's the only way if you're going to keep a legacy alive and you're going to keep using those things.
No, I agree with it.
Do.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah. You just, I also remember this what Mike says. Like the soap opera used to pull stuff like, oh yeah, he had like a facial reconstruction surgery.
Yep, they did.
And he looks completely different. But it was how it was. Like they just made it work, There was a different actor, actress. They had like similar mannerisms. Maybe they did a little bit like stuff differently, but it was always they found a reason, as stupid as it was. The car crash and the facial reconstruction surgery, for example, nobody ever addresses the fact that they have been higher or smaller after the car crash, but whatever. But it worked, at least it suspended your disbelief for like, I don't know, 10 seconds.
Other than pull an asshole and say, Robert Downey Jr., we're going to resurrect him, and then suddenly he's resurrected as this other guy, and everybody's like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think that they screwed too many opportunities up. And
I think, and this is one thing that I want to go on record with, so everybody hears it. I think the point the point was already earlier, because where the cracks starting to appear, but where the entire shit went completely out of the window, at least for me, was Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I fucking hate that movie. It is the most shittily written movie of all of them I've seen. This is where I actively started hating the Marvel Universe, where I said, I'm not watching any more movies of this fucking shit. And they had a chance there to do something really good, and they squandered everything. They squandered absolutely everything.
Elaborate more, Orc, because I'm curious. Go ahead. Elaborate more on this.
Imagine what would have happened. Like, not to mention that the entire premise of this movie is fucking idiotic, yeah? But let's roll with it for like 5 seconds. That Wanda goes into that other dimension, where I forgot the name. Mike, help me out here. What was the name of the other team?
Oh god, the Ultimate Avengers or whatever it is.
No, it's not the Ultimate Avenger. It was another.
Was it the one with Xavier in it?
Yeah, exactly. It was X-Men. Like imagine there would like be some weird like multiverse shenanigans where they like merge these two worlds together, and we suddenly had all these characters in the actual Marvel universe. But no, they had like to kill all of them fucking off for laughs, and it is so bad. This is the worst scene in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, where Wanda goes down there, kills Black Bolt, like one of the mightiest superheroes you can basically face, just by like closing his mouth, and he has no fucking self-control and just eats out a yell because he's scared and just blows his own head off. This is like, are you aware how fucking stupid this is? Like, I can't. No, I can't. I need to stop. This movie actively triggers me more than like a feminist gets triggered at a men's rights rally. Fuck me. This shit is so fucking bad. Like, oh my god, and this scene especially. Instead that they use these actors not for the cameo. I mean, let's face it, Patrick Stewart probably as Dr. X wouldn't be around much longer because it's like, I don't know, ancient at this point.
Yeah.
But like John Krasinski as this is what people wanted. Like, I don't know why people like John Krasinski. I don't, but like Marvel listened and cast him as Mr. Fantastic, right? They said, hey, John Krasinski's great actor. He would be a great Mr. Fantastic. They cast him as it, and then they kill him off in 5 minutes. Dude didn't do shit. Like, I can't.
And they did
Like,
ruin the Scarlet Witch.
That?
That was a talented actress and a good character that was just completely destroyed.
Yeah, don't get me started on her arc in this movie. Holy shit. The writing on this collapses in if you think just 3 minutes about this plot. Why doesn't she choose any other fucking multiverse dimension where her stupid kids are orphans?
Yeah. I mean, that's all she had to do is find an multiverse with her kids, like you said. There you go. She's happy again. I mean,
I just can't. Like, this plot is so fucking asinine. Like, and then it was. Who wrote this? Like some asshole from Rick and Morty. Oh, don't get me started on Rick and Morty. I actively hate that show too. But holy shit! Like, I need to stop. Like, Multiverse of Madness actively makes me angry. Not a lot of movies can do that, but this one really does. This one really does.
Yeah. So the problem with Multiverse of Madness is it tried to do too much. They brought back Sam Raimi thinking, oh, we're finally going to let him do a Marvel horror movie or whatever the hell, because Sam Raimi is Mr. Horror Director. The writer on this is Michael Waldron. I've never heard of this guy, and he's only written, oh God, no wonder. I'm right there with you, Orc. He's only written one episode, Rick and Morty. He wrote the 12 episodes of Loki and 16 episodes of Heels, and then he wrote Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and nothing since then.
Oh yeah, they chose a great cast. I mean,
wonder why
Loki wasn't great.
No, I'm right there with you.
Jeez.
Was the Illuminati what you were looking for, Orc?
Yeah, it was the Illuminati. Thank you.
Yeah,
okay.
it was
Illuminati.
Good.
Yeah.
It's so stupid because Wanda, the Scarlet Witch is such a great character, and I feel like they continuously destroyed that character. And then it's like, oh, well, we're going to kill her off, and the actress, she's already said, well, there's a multiverse, they could always bring her back. I don't really want that because they wrote the character off so bad. They took, and Safsa says, so of course Scarlet Witch can't find a rational solution. Yeah, they just turned her into a complete psychopath and ruined a great character that could have stayed with the Avengers that they would need.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, they also always go on about representation and shit. And like, Scarlet Witch would have been a great character for representation because she's actually really fucking mighty. She's one of the most powerful women in the entire history of Marvel.
She's stronger than Captain Marvel.
I also think, in this, maybe I'm overselling it, but I also think they always struggled to write her properly in the movie because she is this incredible powerful, and so they didn't have any use for her really, apart from, oh yeah, let's turn her bad real quickly so she can't pose a real threat to others.
Yeah.
And we do it like in the worst way we can imagine. And yes, I think this was a complete character assassination in that movie for her. Also for Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange acts like a complete fucking imbecile. But that's another story. And the thing is, what would have been much cooler or a much more interesting development is if the realities merged and the Illuminatis came over to the actual MCU and then like planned maybe the secret invasion because they are secretly evil, and then the Illuminati team clashes with the Avenger. Like, do something like that, you know? If you just want to use the secret invasion, might as well get creative with it. Just don't use the box standard comic book line, you know?
It's like,
That would have been interesting. There is a point. There is a character. I think it's in the Ultimate Universe of the comics where Mr. Fantastic is evil, and he actively tries to invade the Ultimate Universe with his from the Negative Zone or whatever it's called, which is also comic booky as shit. But like, do these interesting things, you know? It's you have all the opportunity, but no, you're like totally lame, and then you assassinate Wanda, one of my favorite characters, and I just.
Ramcross says, what about Jeremy Allen White as Wolverine? He's lip and shameless, was in the Iron Claw. I'm not familiar with the actor, admittedly, so I don't know.
Yeah, this was a fan-made film, Iron Claw, I think.
What was the actor's name?
Jeremy Allen White.
Okay, got him.
Yeah,
right,
and the number one rule I think also is don't kill off characters. Black Widow is one of my favorite characters because I liked how she really wasn't superhuman, but she could fight very well and do what she did. I think killing her off in Endgame.
She does. Yeah. Well, look what she does in Iron Man 2. She hands him his ass.
Yeah.
That's one of the best scenes in Iron Man 2 is when she gets in the boxing ring with Tony and hands him his ass.
Yeah.
She is one of the best characters in the cinematic universe.
And Scarlett Johansson was young. She is a very talented actress. To write her off like that was just... But, you know, they did bring back Gamora, which I liked how they portrayed it, whereas, you know, they tried to pursue after her in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and she's like, I am not interested in you. Leave me alone. I'm not this person that you thought of. That's probably the best portrayal if you're going to go with timeline shenanigans or multiverse, because actions led up to development of that character are no longer there. Those actions are gone. So this person isn't the same. So that is another clever way to do it. But and that's the only way you could really bring back some of these characters. But, you know, at the same time, it just comes down to script writing. They don't have the original Avengers to really save the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They don't have. Yeah. Ramcross, right? They effed up so much. They've ruined so many opportunities, and it's just bad writing. And these writers don't talk with each other. So they just throw the writing in the wall, and then somebody's got to try to clean up the mess. It's like what they've had to do with Doctor Who. That after Peter Capaldi left, and it was just bad writing that's destroyed, not the actors. I don't think it's the actresses that destroyed Doctor Who. It's the writing, how they did it all was what destroyed it. And every time they keep trying to correct course or try to change it, or they adapt, that makes it worse. Hell, they're talking about Doctor Who may finally be canceled because its audience is at its lowest it's ever been, and it's just bad writing. You can't fix things if you write bad. A good actor can only go so far. I could have Harrison Ford in his younger days in a movie, and the writing sucks so bad, it ain't gonna matter how well he fixes it.
Yep. So on Jeremy Allen White, the dude's 33 years old. He was born in 91. And honestly, the only movie that I recognize on his list, he debuted in 2006 in something called Beautiful Ohio. I've never heard of it. And the most recent movie he did was, like you said, The Iron Claw, which was the biographical sports drama film thing. The only thing in between all of that, movie 43 is the only thing I recognize. Everything else, and this is not just me not being in the know of what movies are outside of whichever cinematic universe. Like, I pay attention to a lot of movie stuff, and I don't recognize any of these damn names from 2006 to whatever. As far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes, like I said before,
Yeah.
once you end your universe, it's a little hard to restart it. And I will say that for the classic actors, for the classic roles, more so for the classic characters, that's what If is for. I have loved What If. I can't wait until season 3 of What If. What If seasons 1 and 2 were perfect. Great writing, great characterization, single stories that eventually turned into a whole connected thing. It was really, really good. To me personally, the only way Star Wars and Marvel can continue easily is in animation and in comic book writing.
I think so. I think the days of live action is probably toast. I think you're going to have to go back to animation. Because then you can do voice acting, because I think it's just the live action ideas are great, but I don't know. And Red Cross says, Rune She-Hulk made Daredevil walk of shame with his massive hand and face pose. Yeah, I didn't quite understand why because he's walking around in Daredevil suit, so people are going to see who he is, and he kept that quiet. And, yeah, and he too long for the Black Widow movie. Tried to make it okay. That Scarlet Witch mind screwed the entire town, then proceeded to ruin her multiverse. And Remco says what he was in Shameless for like 11 seasons. Miss Africa says, "What if are the stories Marvel lacks the courage to pursue?" Yes.
Well, that's the thing, though, Savica. They're doing it in the animation, at least. But yeah, you're right. In live action, yeah, that's why What If exists in animation. And like I said, I would rather read any Star Wars comic from any part of the Star Wars comics, but specifically, I started reading those in 2015 after Disney took over and Marvel was publishing them. The Darth Vader series from 2015 was really cool. I haven't read a lot lately in Star Wars comics, but like really, seriously, I do not. Even though my buddy Dave and I are doing this whole 12 months of Star Wars thing where we're going through all of the visual stuff, we just released Mando season 1, I think. Yeah. We're gonna get to the sequel trilogy, and oh god, we're gonna.
Oil con Dios. You
can
do it with alcohol.
Can I be really controversial?
Sure.
I think Star Wars at this point should just die. It shouldn't be continued in any way, shape, or form. Just let it fucking die.
I mean, I see what you're saying.
I understand also what you're saying, that you could also continue it in animation and comic books, but I personally think it should just go away at this point. They did so much damage to this brand that it's not feasible.
It's
anymore.
just like the damage it's doing to Marvel over time. It's slowly fading. And in Disney, and the only thing that's going to happen is when Disney finally goes belly up and they have to start liquidating. At that point, whoever acquires Marvel or Lucasfilms or whatever will have the opportunity to reboot and redesign and say everything after Return of the Jedi was BS, and here we go. I want to follow George Lucas's vision and do the recast and start over. That's the only way you're going to fix it. And same with Marvel at this point.
But see, here's the problem with George. George is an idea guy where he had an idea, but he needed somebody else to mainly take care of it after. Like he threw out the idea of this, and then he had no follow through with it. That's the biggest issue with George. He'll say stuff that he wants to happen.
I agree with you, but that's what I'm saying. Different owners of Marvel and Lucasfilms are the only thing that's going to save it at this point. So they can reboot and fix it and do a course correction, because Disney has destroyed the franchises. I mean, that's the bottom line. There is no amount of goodwill they can do to restore it. Deadpool is a one-off this year. It's just a one-off.
So they paid $4 billion for Star Wars. What other company currently today, if Disney was going to sell it, could purchase Star Wars specifically?
I don't think it's going to be worth $4 billion. I think Disney's ran it to the ground enough.
No. I understand that. I'm saying, though, at the time when they purchased it, they bought his stuff from him for $4 billion. Do we even know what the franchise is worth today, is my question, as far as that goes. If we do know what it's worth, what one media company, like you essentially
Brothers
have to sell it off, and no, Warner would
Amazon.
Not. I don't.
Amazon, Warner Brothers, Apple, yeah.
Warner Brothers wouldn't, because Warner Brothers is Star Wars. Okay, it's Star Wars, not Marvel. Okay,
yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Apple and Amazon would buy it. I mean, they're doing their own TV shows and stuff now. I mean, there's opportunities there, and I think they could do it right if they had the right people in charge of it. It's all about who you have in charge and how you're going to assign it. So, changing focus. This shouldn't be laughable. I shouldn't be laughing at this, but a caller came on the Ramsey show, and it went viral. And he admitted that he went $50,000 in credit card debt, and he can no longer get out because it's ballooned so much in interest due to gifted subscriptions on Twitch. He said he felt a high like gambling because he was throwing subs to everybody. And so he basically put himself in such a dangerous thing, and it's impacting everything. He said he got in the hype because when you drop $500, 100 subs, everyone's going crazy and reacting to it. It just kept happening. I didn't keep track. I wasn't paying attention. As soon as one credit card maxed, I went straight to another one. And he said his life's been torn apart, and he started watching Twitch and gaming during his military service as a way to pass time. He racked up debt over a course of a year, some that the host said they're having a hard time believing, which I do. And a lot of people they're calling immediate saying you really couldn't control it. That's your problem right there. Of course, this is quoting Asmongold. Couldn't really control it. That's your problem right there, you lazy bitch. Asmongold said, you grown-ass man, you couldn't control it. You mean you didn't control it. So, what people are not understanding, and I'm gonna be the bad guy on this one, that high is just like gambling, except there's no winning. Yeah. It's the same type of high, because right now, if we got $100 super chat, I'd be like, oh my God, such and such with $100 super chat. Thank you. We'd have a sound effect, and we'd be like clapping and everything. Or, we'd be, that high that some people like doing. Well, they do it again, or they do it again, or, Twitch subs, or even Kick, like Kino Casino I watch. Kitty donated for 50 subs, and then they turn around and donate again for another 100 subs. It's, that's just it.
It's all gambling.
It's the high. It's the feel good. You're doing something great. It's that high, and you're getting that attention, and everybody's seeing your name. It's still the same as gambling. And my opinion is we try to protect people as much as we can with that online gambling stuff. I think there should be a little bit more protections for people that don't have that kind of control. I mean, I know it's not a Twitch problem. They're going to be like, oh, we got all the money. I don't care. But some of those people can't help themselves. And Ramcross said it's the same as OnlyFans. Some people are in need or want to feel special feeling. So I will disagree with Asmund Golden. That's because he doesn't quite understand that nature, because I've seen what addiction and gambling does to people. And Ramcross, right, it's a parasocial relationship. So I disagree and think that there should have been some type of, especially when we're talking about stuff that cannot be refunded, super chats, subscriptions, memberships. Memberships not so much on YouTube, but we're talking the other stuff. So I feel like there should be some type of prevention for going beyond too much, because if you're just donating 100 back to back to back to back to back, there should be a limit on how much you can do. Thoughts?
I agree, but you should also know what you can spend, and you shouldn't overspend. Like, for example, is me. I love being able to go support the YouTube creators that I support in the Funko community. For those of them that do whatnot auctions. But unless I have the money in my bank account, I am not going to be putting a bid on a Funko Pop on a whatnot auction, no matter how much I want to support them. I'll still show up to the show, say hi, hang out for a few minutes. But I know, with the way my nature is with that, it's like, I have to remember, I don't have the money right now. I need to not be in this auction, because if I am, the temptation is too high. So it has to be a personal responsibility. I do agree with you, though. Certain donation platforms should limit what you can donate. And 100, but oh wow, that's just, oh man.
And so this is not the first time this has happened. That's why I'm saying that there's probably should be, because people like this is a little different than like your auction. This is a high rush, because you're giving money to everybody so they can have subs, and your money's going to the creator and everything, and shit's going wild. It's like hitting the lottery or something, or hitting 777s on a slot machine, and you get addicted like crazy, and it's that rush, that's feeling, that's excitement. And if you're bored, or you're lonely, or there's a lot of reasons people do this stuff. But I think
Ramcross actually brings up the most important reason why people do that. And when it comes to streamers and spending like money on them, it's like the parasocial relationship. Because a lot of people really think if you give a streamer money, they become your friends, which is not true. You always need to keep that in mind. If you give a streamer money, they will not be your friends after you gave them money. They will say thank you, hopefully, to you, and respect at least that. But just because you gave somebody a lot of money doesn't mean they're your friend or that they owe you something. You need to remember that you give that money voluntarily. And I also partially at least agree with Kai, where I say, yeah, there is a high coming from that, but I don't think it's like gambling. I think it's more the social acknowledgement that comes with it. It's not really that same dopamine hit as gambling. I think it's more a different dopamine hit where you get social recognition from somebody, and when you feel like, oh yeah, I did something good today because I gave these people money or something like that. I don't know.
And I agree with you on that too, Orc. The only thing I can think of is gambling, because of the high you get, the dopamine, because it's like, I've seen enough addiction to know that that's what happens. And this is not the first incident of this happening. And I agree on that stuff. No matter how much money the bank gets from me, I know they're not my friend. That's just it. I mean, I appreciate the donations and super chats and the memberships and everything. And I love the community. I work with them, but I appreciate like just the support people do now. I just, and it's interesting enough because, as I've been growing this business and trying to expand and get the gardening stuff going and all this going and doing merch deals and I love super chats because it helps fund the show. But the problem with the danger, I think, is, yes, if somebody were to give me a $50 or $20, $10, I've even done it for $2, I would be ecstatic and say thank you so much and read their comment and all that, because that's how I am, because it's a way of saying thank you. But if you're just a longtime viewer of the show and you start donating, it doesn't mean I'm going to go out and have dinner with you some night at a convention or something. It means, hey, I really appreciate you, thank you so much. But a lot of them do that, or they think they're going to get a connection with a VTuber or OnlyFans or some of the ladies on Twitch. For example, I've seen where Tricky Wee, a VTuber, got $10,000 in cash on a live stream Twitch. Right there, one person put in $10,000. And I'm like, who the hell has that kind of money to drop $10,000 on somebody? I'm like, okay, either this is on a credit card or you got a millionaire that has a really, really deep fascination for her character and her voice, because there's no way I could see that. My mind was blown because there was a clip of it and she was just, she was broken. She couldn't even talk for like 10 minutes. She's like,
I truly think that there are some oil sheiks out there that spend that kind of money on streamers. It happens rarely, but it happens.
Yeah.
And I think it happens. I mean, you should be aware that it's like winning the lottery essentially. But yeah, it's still, even if somebody drops that kind of money, I mean, I probably would, if they ask, yeah, can I have dinner with you? I probably would say, if you come to my place, I'll cook you something, or we go into a restaurant. For 10 grand, I would do it, but that's about the extent of it.
Oh man. So, but this is the first time.
I guess I'm too antisocial because it'd have to be $1 million.
And so this isn't the first time, and this is where I disagree with Asmongold still. There was another person in 2018, a fan of Pokimane, was 4 months behind the rent due to donating to streamer. He said his wife's bugging me about this holiday. I promised her 8 months ago, and then the squad comes first. He wrote comment that baffled. Let's see. But yeah, he put his whole future, his house payments, everything in debt because he wanted to basically please Pokimane.
Oh my God, why is it her again?
And I'm just like, this is really stupid. 10,000 using a single Masterline Magitech Tina Bradford sculpture. I'm just like, wow. I'm like, spend within your means. A real content creator is not going to be mad at you. A real content creator is not going to go get mad at you. Now, I've seen like Invader V and stuff call people idiots for watching their show if they don't donate $5, whatever. A person's presence, a lurker, a talker, anybody is still, in my opinion, very valued. You guys are all wonderful people and great to have value on that. And I think that's kind of behavior that also created this, where people have a need to donate. Yes, I will thank you for a super chat or a membership. I have done that before. Just like I thanked all the people that I could that donated when my car wreck, or when my car theft happened. It's one of those things that it's appreciative, but it's not like it's just weird to me that people would throw themselves in a financial shit show for this, but it is such a big dopamine hit. Blitzlock says, I'll donate my belly lint to Kai. You know what? You still haven't come down here so we could have dinner, you SOB, so I don't want to hear that. Yes, I know Blitzlaga in real life, but yes, if I ever get popular, I will be trying to go to some conventions and stuff so I can, sign autographs, and we'll probably get a venue and we'll go to a place to have, or everybody in a public venue has drinks and stuff, and we chat and have a good time. But That's the dream. I mean, that's the dream. I'd like to go to some of these anime conventions down the road and even try to see if I could fly in Orcosaurus to come in here, or at least hook him up like they did with like Iron Mouse or whatever, where they put a little robot and Orcosaurus is there in spirit, talking through his orc avatar.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm not physical on the premise that would destroy the magic.
Yeah. I know VTubers have that, so yeah, I just have you wheel in, follow me as a robot VTuber. Although I'd be like, here, orc, try this piece of meat. Shove it on your screen.
Okay,
I'm just gonna be like, you fucker.
Okay, now this is making me flash to the Big Bang Theory episode where Sheldon actually did this. He would not leave his room. He put himself on a TV and had Leonard roll him around the apartment.
That actually is a true thing, though.
I know.
Like at TwitchCon and stuff, a lot of the VTubers will go around as robots in their anime character because they don't want to break that illusion. So yeah, it would be one of those things that'd be like, yes, I would still do that to work though. I'd say, here's a piece of me. Just to mess with them.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I would definitely do something like that. But it's crazy. So the last topic we're going to touch tonight, because I disagree with YouTube's approach on this, and I'm not going to get banned for this. I'm not getting in trouble for it. But I think the whole concept of the clip channels being shut down, being banned, being yeeted off YouTube, all that stuff is a really, really shit thing going on right now. So if you don't know, it's affecting the VTuber community mostly, but it's also affecting small channels, you know. So say, like, let's just give an example. Safka is a clipper of my channel, and she has her own channel, and she clips segments of my stuff and posts it on there, and she links back to the main thing and all this. So basically it's advertising me and driving traffic to my stuff, usually, because people get a sample of it. Same with the VTubers. People clip Shy Lily or Iron Mouse or somebody, and they clip these links and they say, well, please follow her here. Here's this. They're, you know, so they're kind of in a way doing good service, and they're also catching the funny moments, so people enjoy that. And well, YouTube has finally said no, and they're treating it like it's reused content or impersonation, and they are attacking all these clip channels heavily. Even a VTuber who does her own clip channel, she got hit with her own channel, and she kept trying to explain, I own the content, this is my stuff, I'm clipping my own stuff. And YouTube's like, nope, it's impersonation. So I wanted to kind of address your guys' thoughts on the clipping channels. I don't think they're bad. And also, not to mention, if a stream's like 5 hours long and you want to get some of the highlights out of the clip, you know, sometimes that's better. So
I wish I had my own clipping channel, or somebody who would run a clipping channel off of me.
Same here.
They could also completely monetize every money they'd made off of my shit. I don't care. Like, here's the thing. I think the clip channels do, as long as it is in consent with the creator, do good stuff. You know, the creator says, take my clips, go ham. Fine. If the creator says, no, I don't want you to do that, then I think you shouldn't do it, but people will do it anyways, obviously. But yeah. Just in general, I think they do a good deed for the creator community. It doesn't even matter if it's just VTuber. I think there's other clip channels also for flash tubers, as I call them. And they, I think it's overall just a good thing that they do. You also have to understand there's like at least some editing also going into this clips, so these people are actually working. Like, they're not just posting random shit. They edit these clips down. Like, they do active work on them. And I think if they do that and if they make it good, they should be rewarded. Like at least let them monetize it if they can and whatnot. I'm absolutely not against clip channels. No, not at
Neither
all.
am I.
Not even once.
I think that, and I think they do promote and advertise a lot for people, and they help these other smaller channels like myself that are not known for people to come and check it out. I've fell in with some of these other channels that I found through clip channels, such as Alyssa Clips. She had the Breaking Baldo saga, which, for those that don't know what the Breaking Baldo saga is, it's the whole thing with Rekieta getting arrested and all that. So instead of going through like 40-50 hours of streams to catch everything or the highlights, she literally clipped 10 minutes of this stuff and she put it on there. And I like that stuff because I may not really want to watch a 5-hour stream to see the stupidity. I just want to catch the highlights of it. And guess what? They're working to catch this stuff. They've done some editing to it. It's not like they just literally copy pasted. I mean, they had to go find the clip anyway. And I do hope that they reverse that. So, Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've got 7 clips right here on my own channel, but it all goes back to the videos that I'm clipping. It isn't going to me. Like, if, you know, you and Diane and Dabbles come on and do a Project Zomboid where y'all gang up on Dabbles and it's hilarious as hell and all the zombies eat him, then I'm gonna clip that to make it funny. But it's gonna go not just to my channel, like you said, it's gonna go to your video. And you're gonna give the content creators the credit, and that allows people to discover it. That's why I love the clip channels, and I think that's the great thing. And I think YouTube is screwing this up because YouTube algorithm does not promote channels very well. It does not show anything. Has been screwed. The YouTube algorithm, I don't know what they did to it last year or a couple of years ago. Somebody did something to the algorithm and they flubbed it up big time because there is just something so wrong with it. But like I said, with the clip stuff, like literally, okay, I'm just gonna run through this really quick. I've got a clip from the Honest Trailers X-Men the Animated Series video. I've got a clip from Ghostbusters 2. I've got a clip from Stefan S. Johnson Voiceovers, who does voiceover stuff and food reviews and stuff. And then I've got like 4 or 5 different Funko clips from Funko people that I follow on YouTube. I'm sure if I wanted to, like I just said, if I wanted to clip a Project Zomboid video of yours, my name's not on any of it. Yeah, it's
and you know,
on
the only
my
time
channel, but it...
I've only copyright struck one person, and I'm going to confess I have. The son of a bitch took my short that has the highest amount and literally for word, no transformation, copied it and posted it on his channel claiming it was his work. No editing, no nothing, no commentary. At least one guy that did that, he did a commentary laughing and it said, here's a really funny clip that I found. And he didn't give me credit, so I messaged him and I said, would you please give me credit for this? And he goes, sorry, I'm new to this whole YouTube thing. I didn't realize I needed to do that. I will get that taken care of. And I was merciful with him because he didn't really understand copyright laws because he's a new channel. He was down in Brazil, had a good conversation with the guy. And, you know, it was that. And I was happy with it. But this guy literally just stole the download of it and posted on his. And I'm like, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Sorry, man.
That's a big no-no.
That's a no-no. I won't put up with that crap because it's like, you're not doing anything. You're not talking about it. It's not on like 10 funny moments of video. You're not attributing the original content creator that purposely did stupid stuff to make people laugh. And it was the Theresasaurus guy like you. What are you? And like, you know, and then I get, you know, dino murdered by this crazy bird. It was meant to be funny. And I even made it what, you know, I added like the sus music with the Among Us to it and slowly drag it across. And so I did my own editing for that because I thought it was a funny thing to do. And it was just, so I mean, yeah, so that's why I'm just like, that's not a clip. A clip is if I basically go, let's say Orcosaurus just had a stream today, and it's tied to a table with a furry weasel and a furry bear interrogating him. There's a few times I could have clipped that and be like, yep, here, check out Orcosaurus's channel, because that would have sent people his way, just the commentary on it. And I would have loved to see Orcosaurus continue to grow through my clipping. And that's what go ahead.
I do think if they don't what you described earlier, that they just steal basically your clips and then re-upload them, which should not happen. But if they clip your shit and then even put effort in by editing them, making them into a short and whatnot, because you can't just upload your 16 by 9 clips, upload them, and then they are short. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
At least it didn't used to work that way. You have to do some basic editing at least. They do much more good for the YouTube ecosystem, at least for smaller, more unknown creators, than React channels.
Yeah. The Clippers would do way more than React channels. React channels just, I mean,
the way I look at the clips is it's a way to do what YouTube used to have. YouTube back in the day used to have video responses where you could record. Like if I'm watching Orc's latest video or Kai's latest video or whoever's latest video, and I want to respond to that creator without just
the
writing
reply
a comment
girl era.
Yeah, he remembers that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Long
He
ass
remembers
time
that.
ago. And I think that's what the clips are now, where it's like, again, like I mentioned a little while ago, where I have clips on my channel from videos that I've watched, but those don't do any, just because they're on my channel, they're just being on my channel. You go to that clip, you watch the clip, then you watch the full video of the Poppin' Duo, or like I said, movie clips, or Kai Dragon Media, or Orcosaurus, or whatever. So it has nothing to really do with me. It's just on my channel because I clipped it. That's it. So I don't see anything wrong with that. What I see wrong with is what, like you guys have been saying, don't download somebody's content and then re-upload it as your own. No. God.
Sorry, I was just making sure there's nothing important at Comic-Con that we wanted to talk about real fast, but
I don't think there is.
No, nothing hype there. But no, that's part of the reason why I appreciate Clippers and stuff, because I want that stuff. I would love the promotion for some of the stuff I do. In fact, some of the VTubers were upset their Clippers who are monetized got taken down because they said basically they're hired by me because I want them to clip. I want them to clip my stuff and put it on there because you guys don't promote my content. And that's exactly it. I mean, the thing is, a lot of those videos, so here's how, let's just explain the algorithm in a nutshell. YouTube does not rely on tags anymore or SEO as much. They may use hashtags occasionally, but they look at the title, they try to look at the contents of your video via discussion and stuff, and then they basically send it to a pool of people with the thumbnail and all that packaging. So those people may click on it, they may click off of it. They may have no interest in that video because it doesn't fit their needs or anything, but YouTube still sends it to them anyway. So they don't watch it. They're like, this is not good. Nobody's really caring about it. So let's just say somebody that just comes on to watch political channels. They send them my gaming stuff. They're going to click off it because they don't care, or they're not going to click on it anyway. So therefore, the YouTube turns around and says, okay, this is weird. Nobody really likes this video. And so they will go back in there again and send it to maybe a few others. And if they keep sending it to the wrong people, that video's dead. it doesn't go out anywhere. It's like literally gone. They'll just say, oh, sorry, we tossed it. So that's how the YouTube algorithm works, plus also watch time. So like if you watch a whole video all the way through, that retention point's high, and so therefore YouTube's like, okay, so somebody watched this video all the way through, so that means they like it, so, and they're still watching this person's other content. Let's go ahead and retry to publish this video again. So watch time is the next biggest thing too, is it starts with impressions and then watch time. And so if they send this to the wrong people, your watch time's gone, your click-through rate's gone, YouTube just tosses the video in file 13, and once in a great while it may be brought back from the dead, as I say, because somebody may be looking for an answer 10 years later or 5 years later on something. That video suddenly comes back, and then they watch all the way through, and then suddenly YouTube's like, maybe bring it back. So that's how it works. So it used to be tags in the description and all that directed the algorithm to what the video is about, and that would tie to your search engines and all that. But since they've changed it, it's screwy now. Nobody really understands it. The only thing we know is, as long as there's a couple things, even on streams, as long as people are chatting in the stream, and that's why I think streamers get frustrated with lurkers, which I don't. So I'm just saying that right now. Because the more chatter that you have in a stream, more people talking back and forth, not just one person, it actually builds up. There's another part algorithm, and Spiffing Brit tested this by breaking the internet by basically having everybody spam the word T in his chat, and it would keep sending more impressions out to the internet, because okay, this chat's just going like crazy, people are watching this apparently, so watch hours and that. So that's kind of where it is. But if the initial stage does not happen of finding the right people, that video that just goes to die, or that stream. And it's weird how the algorithm has changed over the years. I miss it back when it was, yes, I know you're a lurker, Ram, and I appreciate you.
But you still won't shut up, Ram. That's the problem. Don't make loudly. Don't make him start with the Die Hard stuff again, Mike. I will. He's over it. Die Hard, stupid movie. So I mean, and I don't know if you knew about that, Orc. And by the way, congratulations, you're almost monetized. What the hell, bro? I had to fight for 4,000 watch hours. I see you have 3,000. What the hell, bro? I had to go through 4,000.
I'm still ways off with the 4,000, so just you wait.
Well, you're at 3,000. Looks like it said that you need 3,000.
Yeah, I need 3,000 for fan funding. Fan funding means I can get super chats, I can make subscriptions, I can do that stuff. I need 4,000 for the ads.
Okay,
I'm not even keen on the ads. I'm keen on the fan funding, because that is where the money is.
Yeah, I have ads turned on because every little bit helps with funding the show. I mean, I don't like half the ads they've been putting on there because it's all political bullshit, but I don't have really any control on that. So I mean, I wish I did. It used to be you had control what type of ads came on your channel and stuff, but now not so much anymore. But I do it just because every bit a little bit helps, so I can get more equipment and stuff for the show. But you know, most of the most of the funding that comes for YouTube creators is merchandising, super chats, and memberships. And memberships. That's where all the funding goes for the content usually, and you know, that's kind of where it is nowadays. A lot of people get upset at the ad revenue, and the way I look at it is, if super chats, memberships, and merchandising was funding both channels and sponsorships, I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't have ads running anyway at that point. because it's.
I mean, YouTube would run ads for you, so might as well leave them turned on.
That's true. They would still force that crap anyway. So
I would not give YouTube an inch there. Like,
yeah, because they do run run ads on your non-monetized shit too.
yeah, exactly. They put ads on everything now. And I'm just gonna be honest, if they put ads on my shit, I might as well make money off of it. I don't care. Like, my stuff is not as monetizable as other stuff here on the platform. I'm well aware of that. But if they want to use ads on my shit, I want to get paid.
Yep.
Hey,
I like money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm like somebody who scams his audience or just needs to put like a sponsorship in every fucking video that he produces, but I like money, and that will never change.
Oh yeah, the famous streamer that says I'm dying of cancer, give me money, then scams them with crypto. Yeah.
Yeah,
that one.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh my god.
I just had a genius idea for your gardening channel. High Dragon Gardening. What a hoe.
Well, I know. I can't argue with that.
Money hoe, right?
Yeah, I am.
Right.
10 tricks how to turn a profit with your hoe.
and I'll do it for Ram. I love gold. Unfortunately, I had a smelting accident.
Sadly, I think that's the last movie I remember. Well, no, I remember The Punisher. But anyway.
All right, so we have touched everything tonight. I'll be changing up the schedule next Saturday because my buddy, the Orcosaurus, like I said, is going out and touching grass. So I'll probably figure out something for Saturday next week for afternoon maybe, and then Captain Ruggles will be back for Project Sombre that Saturday. Tonight I will be doing either Soul Mask or Bellwright, so give me probably about an hour and a half, and then we will be building an empire or fighting bosses and building a tribal nation. So either way, it'll be fun. And with closing, you got anything, Mike?
Not really, no.
Not really.
No.
And my awesome other co-host, the Orcosaurus, who I love our DJ and Green streams because he is just a fantastic guy. Do you got anything?
Multiverse of Madness fucking blows ass.
Well, that was a very good ending for that one. So all right, and Rancross says touched everything like, oh no,
man,
no.
Rancross, please stop.
Oh no, not on
We're not
YouTube. Not on YouTube.
We need a comment moderator. Ain't gonna be me.
So fun story on that before we go is apparently I've been seeing on Twitter people that even touched the story have been getting yeeted off YouTube. So that's one topic I will not touch because I've seen confirmation of people getting yeeted. Nope. Anyway, with that, I bid you good night and hope to see you in the stream in about an hour and a half. So good night.
Good night, everyone.
See you later. Ram.